I was at the dentist. It was my first time going alone, and I had forgotten my phone, so like any reasonable straight man would do, I picked up the latest issue of Cosmopolitan from the array of magazines before me and flipped to the 5th page. It had a bunch of, very important questions. It was titled, Potential Deal Breakers to Ask on a Second Date. Questions like, what's your zodiac sign? Or, what's your mother's zodiac sign? Or, when you first realize you love someone, was your moon rising in Leo or Taurus? But at the bottom, it asked, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Now, it wasn't the first time I thought of it. Words like, what do you want to be when you grow up, echoed in the headspace somewhere between preschool and SAT scores like clock chimes. My future seemed as logical and concurrent as falling dominoes. Not long after, I had my first college visit. I took a tour around the University of Washington and saw the spot where, not 2 weeks ago, a freshman girl had suffered a pulmonary embolism, slipped, and died. I thought how easily it could have been someone just like me. I imagined her just like me, as someone's child just like me, as someone's future parent just like me. I imagined her as someone who was always waiting to speak until it was too late just like me, and wasn't it too late? I imagined her as a dreamer just like me, only to have those dreams snap shut with the snap of a casket lid. I imagined her just like me. What a terrifying thought it is to be miscarried after birth, to be ripped from a womb of unborn potential, only left with the memories of what might have been. I imagined her as I, lying in her coffin with the insecurity still pounding in her head like blood. What a terrifying thought it is to die without ever having been comfortable in my own skin, without ever having scrounged the last words out from under my tongue before it was too late and my lips were zipped shut with cold concrete and dead flowers. Unfair. What's unfair? Unfair is your older brother getting a bigger scoop of ice cream than you. Unfair is getting cut off in traffic and being the first person not to make the green light. Unfair didn't cover the half of it. This was cold, calculated daylight robbery. To call it unfair was like putting a Band-Aid on a generation of psychological trauma to follow. What a terrifying thought to have not gotten your conclusion before your conclusion got you. I almost laughed when my tour guide said he could not remember her name. What a terrifying thought it is to be forgotten by the people that do not matter to me. But don't we all relish in the fantasized masses that might one day show up at our funerals? How can you be unafraid of heights but terrified of falling? How can you be unafraid of falling but terrified of the impact? Are they not all just one and the same? Isn't living just the quickest way to die? And if it is, then isn't dying young then just winning the race? And what if it takes too long? Is that better? What if you trip and stumble and fall over every crack in the asphalt on your way to the finish line? What if every memory you forget is another crack in someone else's armor? What if you lose the things that matter most to you by being kept alive by the people that matter most to you? We can't be all bound to forget our daughters. But I realized yesterday I could not remember where each of the friendship bracelets tacked up on my wall came from. I do not know if it's better to have regret for the things that you did do or the things you never got the chance to. What is the future anyway? Where will I be in 5 years? I picture myself in the future a lot, but what if I never even